rims, and I went, well, this sucks. You can't even fix them. You could paint the rim, but as you guys see, the two center ones, you can pass it around. The two center moons are all crazed. They're damaged from before they chromed them. So I was at the hardware store a couple months ago, and I'm looking for something or other, and I picked up this package of thumbtack, or actually they're upholstery tacks. And there's 3 different sizes, and I didn't bring the smallest size, or maybe this is the smallest size. And I started looking at them, and I says, you know, you could make baby moon hubcaps out of that. So I brought them home, I messed around with them, and again, if you go to, I know Ed sells real small drill bits here, but you have to go to the number size drill bits to make this work. This happens to be a 54, number 54 drill bit. The littlest one is a 60, and they start at number 1. If you take a regular stock rim and carefully, without a drill motor or anything, find the center. The hardest one to do are the front rims, because there's a cap on the grease, you know, to keep the grease in. So you have to either snap that off, but take the drill bit, pinching it with your fingers like this instead of a drill motor or anything, and get the center and actually just twist the drill bit until you capture the hole all the way through the rim. And by going a 54, the size of these are probably maybe a 55 or 56. So these are a little bit bigger than the rim itself. So it's a little hard to push in at first, but it keeps it centered in the rim. So the first time I did this, I took my dikes and cut the hubcap off. Now I'm trying to position around, it's messing up my paint and everything else. So I said, if I leave the nail on there, push it in, get it, and it centers itself, then go behind it, take a drop of crazy glue, drop it back there. Now you captured the rim in it and you don't mess up your paint job, and it makes a model car hubcap metal instead of plastic. And then this is another company, a German company. It's a non-abrasive. It's called Flitz. You can still buy it. It's relatively expensive. It's about $6 a tube, but I've had this tube for 25 years, so that's how much is still left. You don't have to use very much of it, just a tiny bit on the rag, about that much, and just hold on to the nail part of it, and you'll actually see the color change, because it's chemically changing the color of the steel. It's not, like I said, there's no abrasive in it at all. So after you rub it a few times, when you can see it turns black, and then polish it off, and it makes them look real shiny. The only thing that's kind of bad is when you put these on a rim that is actually plastic chrome, this starts to look like nickel rather than chrome. So I would suggest doing them by painting the rim a color, and then when you put them on it, they look a lot better. This was an old...
That's what I did on that.
That's what he did on those. They were all steel hubcaps. And then I was messing around with some police car wheels that I had that were in my stash of stuff. Had a little bitty tire. I captured this tire over the same size rim and used a smaller hubcap on it. And then this is the same rim. I'll pass these around, everybody can look at it. Same rim. I was going to cut it down, but I was able to capture this great big tire, a truck tire, over the top of the rim. So this is totally the same rim that is on that one, just with a bigger tire on it. And so I used a larger size hubcap on it. And then I was going through some other stuff and found a regular plain old thumbtack, a silver thumbtack. And this looks more like a modern, not quite a Daytona style hubcap, but it makes a stock rim look really cool for a hubcap that you can't find, or if you do find them, they're made out of plastic, and the first time you start touching them and rubbing them, as we all know, the acid in your skin and your fingernail abrasion or their skin will scrape them off. So that was my idea of, these things are like, you get a dozen of them for like $2.49. So for a little bit of money, you can have really nice looking hubcaps on your rat rods or your jalopies or whatever. And then a couple times ago, I was telling guys, is when you go buy these tire kits, whether it's Pegasus tires or whatever, for a low profile tire, they're maybe $10 a set or whatever they are. And I was messing around in my garage one day, had all this PVC plastic pipe. So I took a pipe cutter and cut a piece off, took a file, rounded the edge of it, and 3/4 inch piece of PVC will capture a wheel that's approximately maybe an 18 or 20 inch rim. A 1/2 inch piece of PVC will fit a 1/25 scale rim perfectly. So that's a real inexpensive way to come up with low profile tires, you know, on a budget. And then the last thing that I haven't done yet, because I haven't found a crummy enough file to do this to, but it's going to lay a file on my device, heat it up with my torch, and then capture this on something and roll it across the file so it'll make tread on it. But I mainly did these for curbside models because I build a lot of those, and once the tire's on there, and you don't have to worry about the raised lettering and stuff because most of the time it's not white, you can't see it anyway. So it makes, you know, buy a 10-foot piece of PVC for what, $3, and how many tires can you make out of that? So those are my little things to help us get along with doing what we like doing, and you can actually have real steel baby moons. And then what you do is you just snip the back off so you can get the, or use it for an axle if you want to put on a, you know, the front end if you've got a steering, you know, instead of putting the old steel axle all the way through. I don't, that's kind of bogus, but this it makes a fun way to do something different, and it's cost effective, and when you're all done you don't ever have to worry about your moons getting, you can touch them all you want, you just polish them back up, put them back on your car.
That looks sweet.
You don't have to worry about guys coming on and stealing them. So I put little razor blades underneath there so they cut the...
Where'd you get car on bricks?
Pardon?
Where'd you get the flips?
They're still in business?
No, Ace Hardware sells them.
25-year-old dude.
Yeah, no, Ace Hardware sells them.
Someplace it's still in business. Ace Hardware's still in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you got it. Yeah.
But you can buy this online. The company's still in business. It's made in West Germany. So if you can't find it, you can get it online. It is about $6 or $7 a tube, but like I said, I've had that long, and you don't have to use very much of it. But I mean, you can polish your jewelry with it. No, there's no abrasive in it at all. It's all chemically changing the color of the metal.
Kind of like Nevercell. Anybody familiar with
Yeah,
Nevercell?
same kind of
chemical
stuff.
reaction.
So it makes you know, it makes brass look like chrome, and
Years later, we found out it was 40,000.
oh, it'll take the plastic
Became
off.
about
Yeah,
28,000
it'll take the chrome off the plastic. You can't polish plastic with it, but I use it any kind of metal. It's like it says on the non-abrasive metal polish, packaged in the USA by, who is it? By Fritz Internationals Ltd, Waterford, Wisconsin.
Apparently it's got a long shelf life.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy about it, because you don't have to use a lot. I mean, I've gone through, I think we all have cans of the Simonized chrome polish and that kind of stuff. This stuff is real. You have to use a little tiny bit of German, made in West Germany.
West Germany. So you know it's
there.
old.
Yeah.